Well, we just got back from vacation a couple of days ago. Today's first day back at work and out in the field. We're out here checking the cotton crop and also taking care of a few resistant pigweeds that we have out here. These pigweeds are probably one of the most serious problems we face in row crop agriculture now. There's a weed that's extremely competitive with the crop, and it's a prolific seed producer. Each female plant can produce anywhere between 200,000 and 2 million seed in a in a in a growing season. And you can imagine that if you get many seed out here in the seed bank, it can completely overtake your field. And these pigweeds are resistant to almost every class of herbicide that we can spray over the crops. So in order to try and keep them at bay, it requires a whole lot of hand removal, and that's what we're out here doing today. We're out here chopping with our trusty hoe and also hand pulling uh, some scattered weeds that we have out here in the field. But anyway, as of right now, this cotton crop just looks absolutely phenomenal at this point. It's probably about 10 to 14 days behind schedule due to some cool weather we had last week, also with some cool weather we had in June, and we also had a little bit later planting than what we needed to because of some cool wet weather in in May. But we've got about probably 15 to 17 days that the cotton has left to bloom in order to give the bolls enough time to mature out and make some harvestable cotton. So let me grab my hoe here. We're in a spot in the field where we got a few weeds out here, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of them. It's another hot one out here today. We're supposed to get about 92 degrees today, and see this tall cotton. You can also imagine it's putting off a lot of water vapor, raising humidity level even farther. But here's a weed right here that we're talking about. This right here is it's a Palmer amaranth, otherwise known as pigweed. This one is a female plant, so these are the ones that we really got to worry about. This plant right here, I'd say it's capable of producing every bit of 200,000 seed. As you can see, it's already got some seed heads out here, and it only takes a pigweed about 2 to 3 weeks after it puts out the seed head before it produces viable seeds. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of it. It's in the row, so I can't chop it without also hurting the cotton. So I'm just gonna grab it and pull it up. Like, normally got a fairly shallow root system, and they're pretty easy to pull up when we got some moisture in the soil. But we'll knock all the dirt off the root, lay it on top of the cotton, because it can also re-root real easily. Even if you pull it up, if the root's touching the soil and it's got moisture, it can re-root. Here's another one over here. Here's a smaller one. It's not in the row, so I can go ahead and chop it. Got to make sure to chop it below the soil line, or otherwise it can also put back out. We got another one right here. This is another female plant. Kind of hard to chop with one hand while I'm holding the camera with the other, but I'll do my best. We got a few more out here. Gonna walk down this way. This cotton has gotten between waist tall and chest tall, and gotten extremely woody and bushy. It's really hard to walk through. All the limbs are starting to get tangled up, so it's not too bad walking down the road, but anytime you got to cross roads, it gets pretty tough. So right here we got about 50 acres out of the 600 that I'm growing today. I've already walked over about half of it this morning and got the other half to walk over. our life is not all about sitting on tractors and driving equipment through the field. In fact, this is what a lot of our work entails. In fact, we really only spend about 25% of the time working actually on equipment in the fields. Here's a big one right here. Definitely want to get rid of it. Oh, but during the summer, during late June, all of July and August, this is what I do pretty much every evening, is ride around the fields looking for pigweeds and taking care of them. And we got another one over here. Luckily we got a pretty nice breeze blowing today. Not too bad. But we're in a really good spot of cotton. This cotton's about chest tall. You can see it's blooming. The way a cotton crop works is it on your fruiting branches you get structures like this right here. This is what we call a square. This is the first reproductive structure that shows up on the cotton plant. You can see that flower right there. That flower's about a day or two away from blooming, and it will come out. When it blooms, it'll look like that. It'll be a white bloom, and then a day later it turns pink like that. And up under this bloom, after the bloom pollinates, up under this bloom is the boll, and that's the part that actually produces the cotton. Let me look a little bit farther down here to find one that's already bloomed, and we can get the bloom off real easy. This right here is a cotton boll. It's small. It's probably only about 7 days old, but this is what the cotton actually grows inside. We'll look a little bit farther down here towards the base of the plant, see if we can find a bigger one. I know they're out here. Here's a bigger one right here. This boll is probably about two-thirds of full size. And if you can see it's got seams. This one's what we call a forelock boll. Along these seams right here, when the boll is mature, it will crack open and it will just spread, and the cotton will fluff out inside. And of course, this starts at the bottom and works its way towards the top as it's set in squares and bolls, and the way it opens. And once the cotton is about two-thirds of the way open from and only got about the top third of the plant left to open, we'll come in here with chemicals and defoliate the crop, which will cause all the leaves to fall off and will cause the rest of the bolls to open up. So hopefully we can take the cotton picker and harvest it all in one pass. Here's another big boll. So that boll will probably be opening up, I'm gonna guess, in about 4 to 5 weeks. It will be mature and it will open up, and then the rest of the plant will follow along. It'll probably be somewhere between October 1st and October 15th before we're ready to harvest this field. This will probably be one of the first fields we harvested. It's the first field that we planted, although it's planted more to a mid-maturing variety, so it'll take a little bit longer to mature than the other ones. But the other varieties were planted later, so it's kind of a toss-up on what's going to be ready to mature first. Anyway, that's your Cotton 101. That's your Cotton 101 lesson for the day. Right now, I'm just absolutely tickled with this crop. We just gotta keep on getting some timely rains, and we gotta keep the bugs and the weeds managed. We've put a whole lot of plant growth regulator on this field so far, just to try and keep it from growing too rank and focusing more of its energy on reproductive growth rather than vegetative growth. We last sprayed for insects about 2 weeks ago, and Cotton Scout's supposed to be scouting it today, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got to spray again for insects this week. know, our primary concern right now is still plant bugs, but also starting to have to worry about stink bugs, since we have bolls out here that are growing. The plant bugs usually will feed and sting on the squares and will cause the plant to abort the square. Of course, if it aborts the square, you know, it has no chance of making a boll. Whereas the stink bugs, they'll feed on squares, but they also will sting the bolls and will cause the bolls to grow deformed. It can stain the lint, and if it's damaged enough, it can actually cause the plant to abort the boll. So I know I'm not getting all the pigweeds out here, but I mean, there's no way I can walk up and down every row. I'm just looking for ones that have grown above the canopy, and you know, we'll get the ones I can see, we'll get them cleaned up today, and then here in another week we'll make another trip back through and catch any others that have grown above the canopy. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something. You know, I'm gonna start posting more of these types of videos on YouTube. Normally I just posted our harvest videos, which is just a kind of an artistic view of what our harvest season looks like, accompanied by music. But some subscribers have said that they want to know more about the actual goings-ons of the farm. So we also do a lot of these types of videos on our Facebook page. Just search for Matt Griggs or Griggs Farms LLC, and we do a lot of live interactive videos on those forums too. So anyway, hope you enjoy, and check back soon. I should have some more videos in the coming weeks. Thanks.